Education is the most powerful tool we have to change the world, but only when shared across borders. Through Global Goals 2030, Dr. Kershen Pillay and the Graduate Institute of Financial Sciences remind us that when one person learns, a community grows. And when the nations celebrate, humanity advances. Welcome, Kershen. It's great to catch up.
Likewise, Rionit. Thank you for the opportunity and the platform.
Always. So, listen, GIFS is becoming a major global player as an educational institute. Please walk us through the evolution journey. What happened? Where are you now? Talk to me.
You know, Rionit, we go back many years,
We
and
do.
and when I look at it, it's so rewarding because I believe that when you are doing work that is going to be enhancing the lives of people, everything just falls into place. And who would have thought that a small little business from Shelly Beach in KZN would now be in the United States of America, in Florida, in California, in Canada, and growing. And I think for me, that is as a result of an amazing team that is behind the GIFS brand, but also it is individuals like yourselves and just the support of our local industry that has allowed for a brand that is so rooted in Africa to glow and become a global institution. And for me, as I said, it's all about the people that has enabled GIFS to grow. And also, it's more to do with the quality of education. And it's such a badge of honor for South Africa for us to realize that here is a homegrown organization whose quality mechanisms, its education, its pedagogical approaches to how it teaches is being endorsed on an international standard. So it's not just a win for GIFS, but I think a win for South Africa and our continent as well.
In how many countries are you now?
So we are currently in 4 countries and growing.
That is amazing. South Africa wasn't big enough for you, right? No, it's about the global impact, and I totally get and understand where this is going. So it's been 20 years since GIF came into being. You did not start in a garage. Looking back, what would you say has been your most impactful moment as an educational institute?
Wow, there's so many and to mention, but I think for me, what remains constant is to see the change in people's lives.
Mhm.
And again, you've covered so many of it. We have seen individuals that have been homeless, individuals that came from the most impoverished parts of our country, grow and become portfolio managers, financial advisors, industry professionals. And that is what our job is. Our job is to emancipate our people. And now we are doing this on a global stage to say to every single one of our students that South Africa is not your oyster. Africa is not your oyster. The globe is your oyster. And this is the path that we have created for you so that it becomes easy for you to navigate this process. So it's seeing the impact and the change in the lives of our students. But in seeing these changes, Rionit, it does something to you as a human being.
Mhm.
It makes you change perspective. And I think for me, that's been the greatest reward is whilst many people would count the bottom line only or look for a particular thing, for us that the human experience and how people have lives have changed for the better. Their communities have changed. It has changed us as individuals. And that is why we want so much more. And we'll be uncompromising in ensuring the emancipation of South Africans across the globe.
You must have quite a big or quite a very, very efficient team. Kirshen, how big is your team globally?
So we have about 117 gifters, um, either as permanent or adjunct
Okay.
members. But yeah, that's our team.
Yeah, you are making a massive impact. Sure. There's been a lot of talk about the new scholarship that GIFS is involved in. What can South Africans expect from this opportunity? Tell me what's it all about.
I think for us, as I said to you, when you have purpose and you are on this certain path, and I call it the Project Human path, where all you are trying to do is emancipate people. I think everything it comes together. So the Global Goals Africa Scholarship is a scholarship that is in partnership with the Mlambo Foundation, and it is backed by the United Nations Development Programme and Ouder NEPAD. It is a 1.2 billion rand fund that is focused on education on the African continent. It's linked to Global Goals SDG 4, which is quality education for all. And the program was brought about because we have 5 years until the SDGs come to an end. And in relation to equal quality education, we have only hit 27% of our target.
Sure.
So this is a catalytic project that has brought in place to emancipate Africa. Because by the year 2025, Africa will be one of the largest employment hubs of the world. But we only have 25 years, which is not a long time. It's one generation to ensure that people have the skills to meet the job demands. So to give you an example, the program funds MBAs. It
Okay.
funds BScs in cybersecurity, information systems and technology, finance, certificates in insurance, diplomas in banking, leadership programs, etc. And to give you one example, an MBA from a tier 1 university costs about R1 million a year. And I'm not sure that many corporates would pay for their staff to go on it. And as an employee, as an individual, times are tough.
Yeah.
And one cannot afford to pay so much for a MBA. I know personally to pay R1 million for an MBA will be a huge constraint. So what the scholarship does, it offers for the MBA a 95% scholarship, meaning it covers 95% of the scholarship cost, and you would only have to pay 5%. So you would pay 50,000 Rand to get an international MBA from a tier 1 institution. And this is being rolled out to all macro employers. We are very excited. In the first cohort, which has already run and launched, we have 2,500 students participating. We've got amazing organizations like Old Mutual and APSA and Standard Bank and Discem and so many more that I can't think of offhand that are participating in it. But again, it's not without its challenges because it's a brand new program coming to the continent. So there will be teething issues, but the intrinsic value and how it's going to change and shape the lives of these individuals is going to be phenomenal, because you are getting international standard of education brought to you where you would never have been able to have this opportunity. It's just going to leapfrog your career, our country, our continent. So it allows us to be truly global players.
So as applications closed for your first cohort? Okay.
Yes.
Because I was keen to understand who can apply. Is it only through employers? But maybe then before the next one, we have a discussion about that, because I think that is an incredible opportunity. Sure.
So employers who are interested in participating in the next funding window, they can go on to the globalgoals.com website, and it's actually the Global Goals Africa Scholarship website, and they can start putting in their applications. Alternatively, they can reach out to GIFS and we can help navigate them through this process. But it's an exceptional and once in a lifetime opportunity, and the scholarship will be here for a limited period.
Okay. I heard something mentioned about you recently, that you're an evolutionary. How did that come about?
Rionette, I've also heard it, but I don't know what the genesis of that is. But I think
Someone must tell you.
I think it was after one of the conferences we held, but um, I accept it, I appreciate it, and I'm humbled by it.
Yes.
But I think for me, it's always about challenging the status quo and going off the beaten track. Education is archaic. It is no longer fun, and we need to make it fun and exciting in order for our youngsters to want to be a part of it. And also, we focus mainly on adult education, and people are working, they're busy. So we need to make sure that those archaic systems that have been around for centuries needs to change. And let's change it.
Yeah, 100%. Let's do it. Talking about being the change you want to see in the world, we know about Africa's potential to become a provider of global human resources. What are your plans to ensure South Africa's readiness for this challenge?
Rionette, our actions are deliberate. We are taking this very seriously. Firstly, we work with the Mlambo Foundation to ensure that we have early literacy programs in place.
That is so critical. Yeah,
And I'm sure you would have looked at the Reading Barometer report, which showed that 81% of children that are in grade 4 cannot read for
yeah,
meaning.
yeah,
And that's going to equal a lost generation. So
yeah,
imagine having a workforce that cannot read.
yeah.
So the Mlambo Foundation and GIFS are working very closely together with the 2030 Reading Panel to address these issues at an ECD or early childhood development level. In addition to that, the Global Goals Africa Scholarship, as I mentioned, is in partnership with the UNDP and ARDA NEPAD, and it is targeting the 43 member countries to ensure that we are capitalizing on the funds available to fast track global education. And that's what our priority is.
Sure.
Many may think it's a long time, but 25 years is very, very short to build talent and build skills and professional skills at that.
100%. It's something we so easily delay, and we see the challenges that some parts of our industry have with succession planning, where people just delay the process in terms of making sure that there's a proper succession plan. And it's the same with education, right?
Absolutely. You know, if you look at our industry, we've got two major challenges. One, we have an aging workforce,
Yeah,
but we also have a technical skill shortage. And if
yeah,
you look at the reports that come out, those technical skill shortages are widening. It's not closing.
yeah,
So there has to be deliberate efforts towards technical skills and technical education uh, in order for us to bridge those gaps, not just for South Africa, but to compete globally. And um, one of the CEOs, Bongani from Sanlam, said it so beautifully. He says, if you ask a frog, um, why is it not doing this? Or you ask the frog about why isn't it going into the ocean? It's because the frog only knows about the pond. And then when you expose yourself to global things or like the ocean, you realize that you're actually such a small dot and there's so much more to learn and do in
yeah,
order for you to remain relevant and competitive.
100%. And I mean, South Africa has got the talent, no doubt. We just need to develop it, right?
I agree.
We're heading to the end of the year, and young people start prepping for student intake at various institutions. What's your advice to them, especially if they're on the fence about specific courses to take? You know, it's actually a massive decision that you have to take and make. You finish with school. What are you going to do with the rest of your life? That sounds like so hectic. Now I must make a decision. Your advice.
I think for me, the advice is it's less to do with our students and more to do with the parents and the guidance counselors. We need
Yeah.
to educate our parents because I am also a victim of the trap. when you are considered to be academically gifted or something, you only have 5 professions that you can choose from: doctor, lawyer, engineer, etc., etc. And
I'm not
you
guilty.
um, 2 doctors, 1 engineer.
Sorry, man.
Rionette. But as you can see, there's so much more out there. We need to understand, and as parents, we need to accept that not every child is going to be a doctor, or not every
100%.
child is going to be an engineer. And the world has changed. I would tell our youngsters, and I'll tell the parents, open your kids up to all these free courses available. Let them find what their affinity is. Maybe it's coding. Then they can take a program. You don't have to go and do a full 4-year degree. You could do a micro credential, a stacking course, then go and apply those skills, and learn on the job. There's no beauty better than being able to take what you've learned and apply it. So break down the mindsets. Stop thinking about this archaic, oh, I'm going to go and do this, that, and the other. Don't get me wrong, the social experience at a university is unparalleled. It's become some of your best years in life, but there's alternatives to that. And that is why we have all these other opportunities for learning. So don't box yourself. Don't limit yourself to the big 5 careers and look at university as your only option. Learn as you earn.
That is that is great advice. Can we tell the world that, because that is so everyone is so stuck on this university career, and they are, like you saying, that's coming from an academic person. There are a million options and so many different ways to apply yourself. So thank you for that advice, Kirshen. What's your parting shots to specifically the corporate sector, given where we are with our skills capacity compared to the rest of the world?
For me, it was a shocking reality, and it was an eye opener that the world actually does not care.
Mhm.
You know, you may be operating in your silo. You may be saying, oh, we've got corruption that we need to look at, or my institution is not ready for this. The reality is the world is moving regardless of whether we do. um, the biggest currency to have is not the gold and the diamonds, it's knowledge.
Mhm.
So as a sector, we understand where our shortfalls are. Let us build our knowledge currency. Let us build our knowledge economy. And we have to do it in a catalytic manner. Use this one generation, use opportunities like the Global Goals Africa Scholarship to springboard you, offer you the financial reprieve from paying for international skills, and just on board with it. So yeah, no one's waiting. Let's get moving.
Thank you, Kirshen, for some great insights. It was really amazing to talk to you. I love your passion for education, for doing education different, and for changing people's lives and people's communities. Thank you for what you and GIFS are doing, also for us as an industry.
It's my absolute pleasure, and thank you, Rionette. It's always a pleasure having a chat to you. I could do this for hours, but we
Absolutely.
won't bore your audience too much.
Yes. Let's take it offline.
Yes, you take care.
Thank you.